2025. No, you're saying it's 2024. Well, I'm going to tell you why I'm saying 2025. Don't go anywhere. Stay right here with me on Vintage Wisdom. I'm coming back. Hello, I'm Dr. Ed Montgomery. Welcome to Vintage Wisdom. I'm the spiritual caretaker and leader of Abundant Life Cathedral and Abundant Life Center here in the city of Katy, Texas, and your host on Sensational Sunday, every Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, and of course right here on Vintage Wisdom. Vintage Wisdom is about new wine, or what we call fresh new wine. It's what the scriptures talk about when it talks about pouring old wine into new wineskins, or new wine into old wineskins, because if you pour new wine into old wineskins, the skins at that particular time, they would expand totally, but if you pour new wine in them, they would totally burst because of the fermentation of the wine. This is how we talk about the spiritual life, the spiritual value, the spiritual understanding. So take a moment, hit that like button, hit that comment button. Let me know if you're out of the city of Houston, Texas. Let me know what city you're from. If you're out of state of Texas, what state you're from. And if you're in another country, let me know. I want to know, because today we're going to another place. Look, have you noticed that every time we do New Year's days and New Year's program, but first of all, let me welcome you to 2024. Yes, this is 2024, and I welcome you to this year. But normally, a lot of times, we've gone to church, we've gone to other events, and we've gone to parties, and people saying, you know, should old acquaintance be forgot? And we hear the song and everything, and people would say, this is going to be the best year ever. This is going to be a wonderful year. Well, I got news for you. That's not really what I'm seeing, and it's not what a lot of people are seeing. You know, you could take 10 people. For 5 people, it could be the greatest year ever. For 5 people, it could be the worst year ever. So if we were to say, it's going to be the greatest year ever, and 5 people say, oh boy, you really gave a good speech because it is my best year ever. There's going to be ups and downs. 2024, and the way I really look at it, is a different kind of year. Now, I've been talking about something that comes out of the book of Revelation. Now, I'm not going into a bunch of spooky stuff with ears and eyes and nose and wings that you will find in these Bible studies. But there is a passage that is out of the 4th chapter and beginning at the 1st verse. And it talks about, and the writer, who is named John, we don't know which John it is, but he wrote it. And he says, and I saw an open door in heaven, or I looked up and I saw an open door in heaven. And I heard a voice from up there say, come on up higher and hear about the future, or things to come. And so John says this, he writes, and immediately I was in the Spirit, and I went up and through that open door. So basically, here's what he's saying. I saw an open door, and I heard a voice that says, come up higher. And then I was in the Spirit. In other words, he couldn't get through that open door unless he was in a vehicle that can take him higher. And evidently it was only the Spirit, or wind is what we call spirit, pneuma. It's that ability to move from the natural plane into the supernatural plane. And it was this vehicle that he believed took him up higher and gave him the ability to hear what the voice was telling him concerning the future. Wow. Now, when I read that, I immediately started thinking about Orville and Wilbur Wright. Yeah, I know the Wright brothers. You know who they are. They became famous about building the first airplane. But what I was concerned with is the airplane is merely a vehicle to get you up off the ground and get you into the air. What's the vehicle that's going to take us where we are? This is what John said, to take me from where I am and take me up higher where I can hear things to come. And John said that vehicle was the Spirit. Supernatural. The ability to move from the physical or the natural into another phase that can help me understand something about my future. I'm asking myself a question. Have we lost that ability to get into that spiritual phase of living, to where we're able to look into the Spirit, see into the Spirit, feel in the Spirit? Some said, I haven't felt that way or dealt with that in a long time. I'm not talking about just, dancing in the Holy Ghost, or that's a wonderful thing to do and it makes you feel good for those of you who have that kind of church experience. But what I'm talking about is coming out from yourself, from your natural surroundings, and look beyond. Some of you can call it intuition. Sometimes you can call it discernment. Sometimes you may have the ability to say, hey, I'm just able to look beyond my natural self. I in my imagination, call it whatever you want. We don't always know what it is. But we know one thing, and that is we're going to have to see beyond to understand what's happening in 2024. Now, here is why I talked about 2025. Here's what I believe. And I've been doing this a long time. I've been around spiritual things and spiritual people for over 50 years. I've seen the good, I've seen the bad. I've seen the nice, I've seen the not so nice. I've seen things work out and people say things spiritual. I've seen things not work out. But here's what I've learned overall. And that is the greatest thing you will ever learn. And that is to prepare for your future. This is what I believe 2024 is. Here's why I say it. 2023, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2023. That's the number 7. 7 is the number of completion. We just walked out of 2023. We just completed a year. 2024, 2, 2, 4. That's 8. 8 is the number of what we call new beginnings. New beginnings means that we're going to start something, begin something, open something up, become the entrepreneur for something, start a new relationship, start a new friendship, start a new job, start a new position in a corporation, start maybe you're leaving an old job from 2023, coming into a new job. Whatever you're doing, you're moving into something new. Now, but you can't plant a seed in 2024 and eat from it. In other words, you can't plant a wheat seed or a corn seed and then all of a sudden wake up in the morning and say, okay, let me have some succotash or let me make some bread from the wheat. No, you can't do it because you got to give it time to grow. It must be watered. It must be nurtured. It must be taken care of. 2024 is about education. I believe we begin to plant things in our minds. What are you going to read this year? You say, well, I didn't read anything last year. Well, you got to read. Maybe it's time to read some history. Maybe it's time to read something about a new thing that's in your imagination, a new field of endeavor that's in your imagination. What about your relationship? Maybe we need to read some things about how we communicate with other people or how we relate to somebody else. You know, if it's all just about making love, if it's all, that's going to get, I hate to tell you, that alone is just going to get old. You have to have something to talk about. You have to have reasons to connect emotionally, mentally, even spiritually. How are we going to talk about things? This is what you're going to do. And this is what's going to take you into 2025. This is how you're going to make it, how you're going to reap the harvest from a new employment, a new relationship, a new corporate job, all of these things. Well, it doesn't matter where you go to work. If you're going flipping burgers, you're going to a new burger place. They were telling me, boy, they flipping burgers. They make $17 an hour flipping burgers. You go into wherever you need to go, you can go. 2025 is where you're going to eat. 2025 equals the number 9. 9, 9, say 9. 9. 9 is the number of finality. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, 9. When you go back into 10, you start with 1 again. 9 is finality. When you're going on the scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, that's the 9th note. That is a C. Da, 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 da. That's a C major 9th. That's the 9th note. That's finality. In other words, what's going to be your harvest? What kind of job are you moving into 2025? The preparation has to be in 2024. I'm going to help you through this. I'm going to help you figure it out. I'm going to help you talk about it. I just wanted to introduce to you today and say, Happy New Year. Happy 2024 from Vintage Wisdom. Oh, and we got a good old prayer for you for this year. We're going to have that good prayer. We got a good old prayer. This is going to be good. Vintage Wisdom for 2024. It really is. Go to myalc.org. Hit that donate button. myalc.org. Hit the donate button. And watch this, okay? All right. Hello, I'm Ed Montgomery, and I want to encourage you about one thing. Don't you let your season pass you by. I've been talking on these little bitty clips about flowers and opening and blooming, but it takes pollination. In other words, it takes somebody going from one flower to another flower, and that's somebody, little bees and things of that sort. But just like bees will go from one flower to another flower and cause pollination and cause those flowers to reproduce, I think we touch each other's lives the same way. When we smile at each other, we reproduce joy and happiness. Our world needs so much. This is what ALC does. And when you give, you make a huge difference in our world. Take the time, go to myalc.org. That's myalc.org. Hit the donate button. You can give that way. A second way to give is to be able to use your text to give on your phone. And you can send it to the number 713-742-2035. That's 713-742-2035. And put however much the amount you want to give right in that text message part of it and send it safe and secure. Not only that, but you can use your app. Don't forget, if you're in the app right now, you can give through it right now. And then also, you can use your P.O. box. Just slip a check. People still do checks nowadays. Or you can give through your debit cards or credit cards if you got an envelope. But if you're just mailing it, put a stamp on that envelope and you can send it to Abundant Life Center, P.O. Box 772-300, Houston, Texas 77215. Thank you so much for everything you do, for your contributions. I really appreciate you. Thank you, ALC, Abundant Life Center, and for all of you, ALC globally. Thank you for being a part of our lives. I hope we can continue to be a part of your life. Love you. See ya. Hey, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit that subscribe button, smash it, crash it. Let us know you're there.